So, Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I am really pleased to once again, but actually for the first time, be able to introduce Amber Trendell, who's the Senior Director of Strategy. Not the first time I've met her, by the way, but the first time she's been on a Meet Our Member, and introduce her to you representing Oracle Restaurants. And Oracle, as you know, is a global industry supplier partner. So, welcome, Amber.
Thank you, Rob. Pleasure to be here.
So let me just start out like this. So, what does a person who is the director of strategy in a global leader in food and beverage technology actually do?
Oh, that's a great question. If you ask my kids, they would say she takes meetings and she answers emails. No, I joke. We on the strategy group are within the kind of broader, you can see the little moniker in my background. We're in the broader group of solution excellence at Oracle Restaurants. And that's inclusive of market strategy. So where is the market headed? Where do we want to continue to play? How do we want to evolve our go-to-market from a commercial perspective as well as product portfolio? What are we building? What are we looking at from an acquisition perspective? And if we're not building or buying, who are we partnering with? And that last one is so key, I think, to growth in the industry, remaining an open platform, having really thoughtful investment in partnerships and partner programs, both from an independent software vendor perspective, but also certainly reseller partners. So I look after all of that. I have industry analysts that look after the three core sectors that we frankly prioritize, those being enterprise restaurants, so certainly inclusive of QSR, fast casual, TSR, stadiums and entertainment venues, a really great space
Big
for
area.
us, very high growth area for us. We play very well there, no pun intended, and the hotel sector, so restaurants within hotels. So those are the three core. I've got analysts that look after all of those markets. Again, what's the market trend? What's the climate look like? Where should we be investing?
I'd like to just be clear on one thing
Yeah.
here, because while we said restaurants, we said hotel, in there, and we said stadiums and arenas.
Hmm.
Generally, in the IFBTA, we look at it as food service, retail, and hospitality.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in reality, you are the market leader in a lot more than those three. Because food service, I think of some of your clients that I happen to know that are in the contract feeding, and they
Yep.
may not be doing stadiums and arenas. They are, but they may not, right? So universities, business food service. Then I think about cruise ships,
Yep.
where you guys are out on the cruise ships. You're in casinos, right?
Yes.
So those industry sectors, by my count, there's about 30 to 40 actual industry segments. And Oracle in the food and beverage and the restaurant space in your technologies actually has something directly in almost every one of those sectors. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And thanks for teasing that out because you're right. Within that sports and entertainment umbrella, which is inclusive of stadiums, theme parks, there's also a very large percentage of that market that is serviced by food service management companies that are dealing with business and industry. So cafeterias within college campuses and hospitals and elder facilities. So yeah, we're very much aligned with those markets. And then certainly in the hospitality, we include within that overall umbrella casinos, cruise ships.
And by
Yes.
the way, the reason why I point this out is because there's so much cross-pollination or integration between them that you see retail, which you guys
Yep.
obviously do within hotels. And
Yep.
then you see food and beverage and retail in airports, right? So
Yep.
it's impossible to just be in one. But also, how many countries do you guys actually operate in?
Yeah, I mean, we're present in 180 countries. So we are maybe, I think my GM likes to kind of cheekily state that we're the only ones foolish enough, frankly, to want to tackle fiscal and internationalization at that scale. So yeah, we are fairly differentiated in that regard. Yep.
So if I know my industry statistics, you're in more countries, I think, than McDonald's is, just to be clear.
Oh, yeah. Very well. Could be. That's
I think you are, as
yeah.
I think about it. So, and you'd be in some very interesting places. And actually, you brought up something. When I talk to people about technology that could be global in here, the thing that keeps people away it isn't actually language anymore because there's a lot of language translation software and when you're in the cloud. But what does keep them away is things like fiscal printing and local government regulations and employee, pieces. And that is something that since you've been in it, one should not assume that these are legacy products. These are actually new products that you have and you're always evolving, but you're able to take what you have in the toolkit and apply it. And that's how you get to 180 countries.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, actually, we are we're working toward kind of a next generation of fiscalization offer. It is such a dynamic space and just continues to evolve. There are new rules and regulations on a daily basis. We've got a full dedicated team that looks after that so that we can ensure that our solutions are compliant and our customers can frankly, do business. Yep.
Well, okay, so there's something else that you said in introducing sort of the subject and your scope, that I think a lot of people don't realize. And quite frankly, I bet if I go to the website, I will find something new myself. And that word is partnerships. I think people have perceived a lot that, you get this choice of all-in-one providers or you get this choice of best of breed. And you really play in both. Now, could you address for us as a strategy, could you address for us where you are as far as partnerships, but also where you are in products that may not have been part of the core? Because you did say that you also acquire new types of products. So what's the
Yes.
strategy on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you said it correctly, really, in that, historically there's been this notion that you kind of have to select, right? You have to go one way or the other from an IT strategy perspective. You're either going to go kind of full stack, fully integrated, or best of breed. In our point of view, you don't have to choose. You can have both. And frankly, you can have both from Oracle. So our strategy is really around mock architecture. So microservices, APIs, composable, headless. And so we have over the last several years really invested and doubled down in building high performance, broad surface area APIs, growing our partnerships, expanding the ecosystem. We have a very prescriptive approach to onboarding new partners, identifying together what the right customer journeys and use cases are, validating that integration works as expected in field, and then basically helping them go to market and co-market with us. So I think for us, that gives a ton of choice to the operators if they want to pursue and plug in, frankly, a new technology. It's very
or if they
straightforward.
want to not completely replace what they've already invested in,
Yep,
because that's the other,
absolutely.
it's not
Yes.
an all or nothing,
Yep.
which in an all-in-one it is,
Yep.
but it's not an all or nothing either. You can maintain your investment, which I sure, by the way, comes in very handy if
Yep.
you have franchisees, if you have multi-brand, or if you're in multiple countries,
Yes.
because in fact, there are different software products and things that are
You've
connected.
got regional players, regional requirements, all of those things. Yeah. So, I mean, just by nature of being a global enterprise solution provider, we have to remain open and frankly be composable and kind of plug and play. In the same regard, though, in the mid-market in particular, we see a lot of operators that would like to reduce their technology stack, reduce the investment required to maintain integrations, et cetera. And so you're right, we have made a few acquisitions over the last few years, online ordering, loyalty, and we are in the kind of full project planning and scoping phase now of transitioning our enterprise back office. So we have solutions that have been around for several years.
Hey, back office, can you just explain what you just said as far as the enterprise back office and transitioning that?
Yeah, so making investments to transition that. Frankly, our strategy is really around building off of core Oracle technology. And so investing in what Oracle has to offer out of the box. So we've got, for example, integrations and Oracle Integration Cloud recipes that connect Symphony to Fusion, for example. Likewise, we've got a connector on the shelf for Symphony connected directly to NetSuite, and we're working closely with NetSuite to build and extend upon that NetSuite framework to support things like inventory, workforce management, et cetera.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that, I just as an observation, because the IFBTA actually uses NetSuite, and I went to a Yankees game with NetSuite 2 weeks ago, a doubleheader in New York in the rain. So But I would tell you that one of the things I find interesting is if you take a look at the Oracle stack outside of hospitality or food and beverage or restaurants, and you take a look at the products, you've got the big Oracle that everybody always knew about, which is like, Oracle Labor Management and Oracle Financials, right? But
Yep,
NetSuite really fills a role. And I know you're not here to talk about NetSuite, but it does fill a role in helping a company who needs that accounting back office and,
absolutely.
and HR and everything,
Mhm.
and who maybe has grown up from QuickBooks or
QuickBooks.
something like that. And
Yeah.
they're an emerging growth
Mhm.
company, 50 units or above, you are looking for something more robust. And it's great that it's in the toolkit and it's integrated.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly right. I mean, I think Oracle is probably maybe less well understood in terms of how integrated we are from a industry application and then horizontal application framework. But yeah, we've taken a lot of really important measures to make it easier to do business with us, and frankly, to go kind of all in with Oracle if that makes sense for your
And you
business.
have best of breed products in many different places,
Yep,
things like Taleo for ordering. So I know about all this, but
exactly.
but I don't know that people always see it that way, and they don't
Yeah.
necessarily understand that it exists. So I think it is important to bring that forward. So many, it's a very confusing world right now with consolidation. You see so many of the fintech companies are buying, different point of sale companies.
Yeah.
And it gets a little bit confusing there. Are they after the payments or are they after the point of sale? I don't know. It's confusing because credit card machines are called point of sale. So, okay. So we get that. But payments have become a very important part, not just because of how many different payment types, what parts of the world, the data, the security, the regulations behind them. Is Oracle directly offering solutions that can be, purchased or made apart or embedded, such as your competitors are doing?
Yeah, yeah. So we rolled out payment processing through the food and beverage or the restaurants group 2 years ago. We are in market in the US and in the United Kingdom. We also offer Oracle payments in the retail sector and the hotel sector. And I think I can share this because this will be at Cloud World. We will be rolling that out in healthcare as well. And so for us, it's really about simplicity for the end user, consolidating to your point and giving them, frankly, a very streamlined from transaction to reconciled in the bank account, kind of one thread through.
Well, listen, thank you so much, for, having this conversation today. I'm going to look forward to seeing you in person again soon. And I just again want to thank, Oracle Restaurants for their support of the IFBTA. So Amber Trendell, who is the Senior Director of Strategy for Oracle Restaurants and Oracle, a Global Industry Partner member, thank you for being part of the IFBTA.
Thank you. I appreciate it.